Picture this: the lights at Soldier Field dim, the crowd erupts in anticipation, and the familiar roar of a Boeing 747 lifts the spirits of Bears Nation. Yes, it's a new dawn in Chicago. If you think the Bears are primed for a breakthrough season, get ready for a wild ride. Because what if I told you there's a former star player whose return could reshape the franchise forever? Could this be the missing piece that elevates the Bears from a rough rebuilding phase into a confounding juggernaut of the gridiron? Imagine Matt Forte, the smoothest dual-threat running back of his generation, breaking tackles and masterminding defenses as he glides past defenders like a ghost in the night. Let's savor that thought for a second. What if Forte, equipped with the wisdom of his years and the tenacity that defined his decade in navy and orange, could reignite something electric in the backfield? In a time when the Bears grapple with inconsistency in their running game, bringing Forte into the fold isn't merely fantasy. It would be an audacious leap back to an era where running backs shaped games rather than merely filling roster spots. This isn't just about stats that'll make analytics nerds drool. Forte, with his mesmerizing ability to slice through defenses and snag passes like a highlight reel come to life, could anchor an offense that has long craved an identity. So, what's at stake if we see Forte dash across the turf once more? Picture a locker room ignited with nostalgia, players drawing vigor from the pulse of a legacy, and fans unifying in collective hope that could very well wash away decades of unfulfilled promises. It's about embracing that undeniable magic that hung thick in the air during the 1985 Super Bowl season when the monsters of the Midway were breathing fire. Would Forte's skills turn this current squad into a living tapestry of triumph and teamwork? Consider the haunting echoes of past heartbreaks shaking the foundations of our beloved Bears. Could this bold move transform scars into battle-hardened resolve? And as the off-season settles, fans are left clutching their jerseys, whispering in fascination, how would this dynamic change the course of a season filled with worry and trepidation? What if this isn't just an addition to the roster, but a cataclysmic shift in fate, a chance for history to repeat itself, but in an even greater story? That's where the thrill lies, and it's just the beginning. Stay tuned, this narrative is just getting started. But before we let the echoes of nostalgia carry us away, Bears Nation, if you're feeling that surge of hope coursing through your veins, smash that like button, fire off a comment, and pledge your allegiance to this journey, because what happens next could rewrite Chicago football lore forever. Imagine the roar of the crowd when Matt Forte, more seasoned than ever, steps off the bus wearing navy and orange once again. Only this time he's not just a star. He's the architect of an offense reborn. Inside Hollis Hall, whispers of new blocking schemes swirl like wind through the windy city, and veteran linemen rehabbing old injuries find fresh fire in their bellies, hungry to carve paths for Forte's ghost-like elusiveness. Can you see Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson watching wide-eyed as the old maestro marshals the backfield, teaching them the subtle art of drawing defenders in before slipping through the smallest seam, the one that always unravels an entire defensive front? Picture a playbook rewritten to feature zone read wrinkles that spring Forte into daylight, leaving unsuspecting linebackers grasping at air as he glides past them. The same shifty runner who once accumulated 1,000-yard seasons, while snatching passes out of the backfield like autumn leaves in a swirling gale. Yet there's a deeper current coursing through this potential reunion. What if Forte's mere presence forces a philosophical shift in offensive identity, from a team content with cautious checkdowns to one fueled by aggressive creativity and confidence in every down and distance scenario? Could the reverence for his legacy electrify a locker room that has suffered from inconsistent leadership, transforming locker-tentative rookies into fearless contenders who believe every inch of turf is theirs to claim? But the drama intensifies when we consider the potential friction this resurrection could spark. What happens to a young quarterback already grappling with the weight of expectation? Will Justin Fields feel liberated by Forte's veteran insight, or will the optics of an ex-star back in the fold stoke whispers of quarterback uncertainty? Is it possible that the organization's embrace of nostalgia might send ripples through the coaching staff, forcing Matt Eberflus to reconcile a commitment to youth development with the magnetic pull of bringing back a legend? And what of the contract cap implications? A bid to woo Forte from retirement could require financial gymnastics that might threaten to displace key free agent targets or place pressure on re-signing core defensive pieces. Like Roquan Smith, could the front office stomach the gamble of allocating precious salary cap space to a one-time hero, banking on his leadership and production to catalyze a championship push? These questions shimmer like mirages over Lake Michigan, blurring the line between prudent roster building and the intoxicating lure of a fairy tale return. Then there's the ripple effect on Bears rivals, the Lions, Packers, and Vikings, all watching the Chicago Revival with jaws on the floor. How would Matt LaFleur's Packers strategize against a revitalized ground game that pairs Fields' scrambling prowess with Forte's uncanny vision? Could Aaron Rodgers' dwindling twilight now face a veritable blitz of Midwest monsoon runs that snuff out Lambeau's frozen fate? And in Detroit, where Dan Campbell thrives on emotional momentum, would a Forte-led Bears rushing attack steal thunder from the Lions' own ground ambitions, turning Ford Field into a stage for fierce NFC North retribution? Imagine Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores lying awake, drafting containment plans that now must account for a backfield tandem capable of turning 3-yard gains into 30-yard breakaways. The stakes are heavenly high and hellishly uncertain. Yet even as these seismic waves build, the heart of the narrative beats in the untold stories of impact beyond the field. Envision fan pages erupting with throwback photos of Forte juking through Saints defenders, new jerseys flying off shelves, and social media igniting with hashtag Forte returns trending alongside hashtag Bear Down. Could the cultural renaissance of lone bars filled with hopeful chants, social media buzz echoing through Chicago's streets, be enough to sway momentum before the first snap? And what if this phenomenon funnels straight into the locker room, tethering a fractured unit to a shared purpose that transcends play calling and scheme execution? The potential to reignite the spirit that defined the monsters of the Midway in 1985 looms large a chance to meld past glory with present hunger. In a crucible of will and grit, as a lifelong Bears devotee who grew up chanting "Bear Down" through frosty December games, I can't help but feel the hairs on my arms stand on end just picturing Forte's triumphant return. But here's the question burning hotter than a Soldier Field grill on game day. Is this the bold gambit that sparks a renaissance, or a sentimental echo that distracts from the true rebuild? Could the ghosts of past legends empower or overshadow the rising stars? And will this audacious move bring the surge of unity we crave, or fracture our focus just when consistency is most critical? Drop your take in the comments, unfiltered. And fierce, I'll be right there, feeling every beat of this epic saga as Bears Nation claws its way toward destiny.